And welcome to the replay. We actually have a better camera because we're using the iPad.
The camera's over here.
Okay, I didn't
right
know.
here. That's the camera
okay,
right there.
Where are we?
Right
there we go.
Here. I'm not trying to block it, but that's the camera there. It's not over here.
I can't. Anyway, we're gonna have quite the show tonight. It was first named Piles of Files, and then I decided to rename it Shortcuts, or EIDL Shortcuts. We're going to be talking today about different examples of ways for you to not handle your loan and your file with the SBA. I'm sure there'll be some questions with the current events going on, and
the PPP running out of money.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. But we do like to we don't really focus on PPP too much. We started doing it last year. We don't do it anymore. Maybe as a courtesy for clients, but we won't get into that. Anyway, we have a new camera. We have a new setup. So if you see me looking down like this, it's because I will be typing with you guys to say hello in the comments. So do let us know.
You're going to type and do all the talking? Because I'm just hanging out here to get the free pizza. By the way, what time does the pizza get here?
No pizza.
Wait.
No pizza.
Wait a minute.
Hello.
I signed up for the pizza.
2021. Thank you so much. And yes,
hey,
Robert. Yes, and hello, Jeff. So nice
Jeff
to
Hansen.
see you. Howdy.
Jeff,
groovy.
That face is legendary. I love that face.
Yes, and no, great Scott, who is still talking about PPP. Oh, no funding, no worries. Correct. So, first things first. Trevor, what do you... Oh, we have to do the WTF Wednesday. What the funding? Hello.
Oh, yeah, do our pre-recorded video introduction.
Did you want to do it? Let's hit it.
Hit it, woman.
Let's hit it.
It's Wednesday, WTF Wednesday. That's not to say there were not glitches, and there are still glitches happening.
Welcome to WTF Wednesday, where every week we talk about stupid that we've encountered that you should try to avoid. And we're back. Trevor just said at the break, he was like, you're going to have to do all the talking. And I'm like, what? I'm so shy. I'm totally introverted. I don't know what's going on here. I just hit the banners so that you guys can say hello. And Michael wants to say no pizza.
Hello, Michael. You, me.
Hello,
compadres.
Teresa.
Hello, Teresa. Hey, Teresa, I never did get around to calling you.
Kobina? Sorry,
Kobina, I just saw your text message. I replied to it. Thank you for sending in your documents.
Nice
Color
to see
of
you.
Law
Thank
Center
you for
Foundation.
Being with us.
I love that.
Really
Color of Law.
appreciate it. Oh, and Zoe.
Zoe got some pretty good news today.
And Cookie is here. Hello, Cookie.
Hi,
Cookie, we were talking about pizza, but please don't be offended.
Cookie, I called you twice. You did not answer my call. I'm feeling sad.
Oh. All right. So basically, we have a couple of things that we're going to talk about.
Wait, can I talk now?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
All right. So the concept for tonight's show, this is the first of two shows. Tonight's part one.
The sequel.
Next week is the sequel, or part two. What? And the idea behind tonight's show and WTF Wednesday next week is to help you all understand exactly what is going on with your files at the SBA. Yes, we know the inside track.
We do?
We do. We do. We do.
Oh my God. I'm as excited. No, listen, I only hear when Trevor's on the phone when I'm in the other room and I hear, so some of my tweets, Robert, are like Trevor talking on the phone and saying wildly insane things that are like, no, that didn't just happen. They did not just say that.
Well, today I told Courtney and Matt the story about how when I was 12 years old, I had to pick green beans from a field until I figured out that I could pick the squash and be done in 40 minutes. And that didn't fly very well with somebody. We'll leave that out.
Hey, Rev.
Hey, Rev. So tonight is part one of a two-parter. Next week is part two. And essentially what we're going to share with you tonight and next week is to enlighten you with exactly what is going on behind the scenes at the SBA with your EIDL loan request. I said it slowly so Linda can do that as a sound capture, and she can repeat that on Twitter over and over again and make a meme out of it. So tonight, behind the scenes, do you want to do any further introduction on behind the scenes? Because I'm still thinking about pizza.
Well, you mean like when people do stuff that causes the complication? Because we have examples. That's
exactly what we're talking about.
So here we go. Here's one. Now, let's just say, okay, first of all, this is not to throw anybody under the bus. No. This is so that people can understand the most.
We can enlighten you.
The most minute detail. Is that redundant? Minute detail? I don't know. Michael's the writer in the group here.
Minute detail is not redundant.
Okay. The most minute detail can completely hijack. Torpedo, hijack.
I like torpedo.
The whole thing for months. So you don't want to do that. So these are little things we're just trying to share with you that have happened that really don't do. Just don't do it. Okay.
So our first example is an EIDL application that was put in. And when it was approved, the owner of the company at the time was hospitalized and could not, for whatever reason, sign. Hi, Abby. And could not sign the closing documents. So rather than wait for that person to sign, a manager at the company signed. So now we're processing an EIDL request for an increase. And I came across this as I put the file together, realizing, wait a minute, who is this person who signed on the loan agreement? And why is that person's email getting the emails from the SBA when that person, the other person is the 100% owner?
Wait, who's on first?
Exactly. So now I'm concerned in the reconsideration process that we have to untangle this.
Well, most times people come to us because they do have a tangled mess that they don't have time. They had the time to go in and try to do this, but then wait, are you kicking me under the table, or
no,
he's just touching my knee? How cute is he?
I'm hoping if I touch your knee, there'll be a pizza in my near future.
There's no delivery here, and I'm not going out. I'm business on the top and pajamas on the bottom. So, you know. Okay,
so there's another example that came across today, which isn't really something.
Do I have a banner for this?
No, you don't. You asked me to come up with more examples, so I have done so. And in this case, it's not the business owner's fault on the application, but it is an example. So what we're sharing with you tonight is on your side as the business owner, when you submit your EIDL application, and the kind of things, what we've always said to you in our videos and what we tell people who are clients of, every business is unique. Just like, Linda has gorgeous flowing blonde hair, and I've got this gray barbed wire scraggle on my face. We're different. We have different DNA. We have different features, and different senses of humor. And I love pizza, and Linda, loves pizza too. Wait, that makes us the same.
We're the same.
Okay, so that means because we both love pizza, that means we're both like small.
Can
businesses.
We get to the example? God.
But then there's other variations. So that's what we're talking about tonight. And next week, part 2 of our show is showing you what's going on behind the scenes at the SBA.
All right.
All to help you understand so you can manage your expectations. Okay, so we have another situation where when the business was approved and funded for EIDL last year, since then the business moved. Now, under the terms of the loan authorization agreement, you are required to notify the SBA 30 days in advance. You don't have to ask their permission to move, but you do have to notify them of the new address. You are not permitted to use any of the EIDL funds to fund any aspect of the moving. So in this case, the applicant moved, and there have been some issues with processing, including PPP, including EIDL, and I just kind of untangled that web today because the applicant received a declination letter, as did hundreds of thousands of other people, but received a declination letter for targeted advance saying the business is not in a low-income community, and it had the address from the former location, which I thought I had changed in the SBA system as far back as February when we first filed, or actually January, when we first filed an EIDL reconsideration. So you see, even with our implementing a process of changing address, the SBA system might not catch up. And again, this is part of the idiosyncrasies and unique qualities of each different business. I just saw something going past. Oh, it's a car that went past on the road.
Yeah.
You see back here, all this property line back here, and you can see the road over there. Well, we've been here 5.5 years. You couldn't see this up until about a year ago, because this chick right here removed all of the shrubs and the vines and all this stuff by hand.
But I will there were a couple times I had an excavator come here, but I will say that was therapy. That was such therapy.
So now
we're gonna get. I know there's some questions. We're gonna get to questions. I see your questions.
So all right. So here's another one.
Okay.
Idiosyncrasy.
All right.
We have a client filed a reconsideration yesterday. I put the paperwork in.
Is this a new one, or do I have a banner?
This is a new one.
Okay.
And as I'm filling out the 4506T, which I always tell you folks, when you are filling out your 4506T, have your tax returns side by side. Like
side
us.
by side.
Side by side.
Honestly,
side by side.
I don't think we've done a specific we've done videos.
I like being by your side.
I know. Thank you. I do to you.
I like also when I'm by your side and you give me pizza.
No more pizza. So this is the thing. I've done a bunch of videos on 4506. Look at this hair. Oh my gosh. Okay. I've done.
That might have been mine.
A bunch of.
Did it feel like barbed wire? Because that was definitely mine.
Oh my gosh. I've done a bunch of videos on 4506T, and I don't think I've done one to specifically, explicitly say side by side.
Okay. So yesterday on my 23-inch LCD computer monitor, I had open the 4506, I had open the tax return, and I was completing the 4506 to submit for my reconsideration. And what did I discover, Linda Ray? Go ahead, ask me.
What did you discover, Trevor? I'm asking you.
I discovered that the CPA.
Oh no, please not. No, tell me it's a good news CPA story. I can't handle another.
It's not.
Damn it, hell.
No, it's actually, it's one of the worst CPA stories. And by the way, the person is a client and is probably watching the show tonight.
Look away. Look away.
Look away, Mike.
Oh.
Look away, Mike. That's okay. Mike has a pretty good sense of humor. But the CPA and the client are besties.
Oh.
And have been since high school or childhood.
Oh boy, that's even worse.
And I'm pretty sure the CPA has probably been to the client's house here in Connecticut multiple times, for barbecues and beer and pong and ping pong, whatever.
Beer pong?
I don't, listen, I haven't gotten out of that office in 6 months, so I don't.
Yeah. Okay. Worst. Go ahead.
Problem is, as I'm filling out the 4506, what do I just see on the tax return? Not just for 2019, but also for 2018, that the client's address is misspelled. Side by side. Okay. So side by side. What address did I put on the 4506, Linda? Go ahead, ask me.
You put the address that was on the tax return.
Correct. I put the wrong address. You're correct in asking me if I put on the wrong address.
Do I get a prize?
No.
Is that prize pizza?
But if you get me pizza, there'll be a prize for you. Don't you worry. So you see, idiosyncrasies. These are the little things that I'm always telling you folks, I can't teach you how to be me, the loan officer. These are the minutia that has already torpedoed loans way early in my mortgage career, and I learned early on. And so that's why I pick up things like expired driver's license and misspelled street names.
Well, let's stay on the tax returns, because here's an example.
Friends and money.
Yeah, that's so the let's just throw a bunch of numbers.
So we got some good news.
The 1065. We were talking about 4506. Now we're going to talk about 1065. It's all on the tax return family of what not to do. Submitting partial forms when it comes to your tax return. So do you want to expound on?
You have two aspects to this. You have submitting partial right? So we have a situation recently where the client provided 2 pages of a multi-page tax return. Not going to work. But then we have other situations where I had one tax return yesterday. It was 122 pages, most of which was the accountant's worksheets and all kinds of other dross and drivel and garbage, and the state tax returns. And then 4, maybe 5 pages of the CPA firm's cover pages. And so I had to spend a few minutes deleting all that, which is okay. That's what we do. We are, of course, the advocate working for the client. But if you submit that directly to the SBA on your own, imagine the result you're going to get when you have an overwhelmed SBA loan officer who's got 2,000 or 3,000 files to work. Oops, sorry. Okay. Getting ahead of myself. That's supposed to be for part 2 next week when we tell you what's going on behind the scenes at the SBA, because we figured it out. We know what's going on at SBA. We're going to share that with you next week.
What do we have? A lot of questions coming in. Should we just kind of intertwine?
Not ready for questions yet. I want to keep going with the banners. I like this.
Well, I guess this is not our purpose.
And I didn't even have pizza.
This is not our purposeful strategy to keep you hanging in with us.
You keep me hanging on.
All right, next. What's next? Did we finish 1065? Next is
hours ago.
We don't need to expound on this. We have beaten this to death. Please do not submit JPEGs or PNGs or TIFFs or whatever.
Or bitmaps. Remember bitmaps?
Or WinDAT or whatever the hell these damn formats are that are image files. They must be PDFs. And if you do not know how to convert an image to a PDF, there's a thing called Google. It's phenomenal.
Wait, there's another thing. It's called YouTube.
Is it new?
YouTube. You could probably learn on YouTube how to do it.
I don't know if it's new, this Google thing we speak
of.
Hey,
speaking of your sarcasm and facetiousness, just another element to PDFs, which I realized when speaking to somebody today. If you have an Apple computer like this gorgeous iPad that we're doing our video on, if you have an Apple product, Apple has its own PDF maker. And do you know that on a PC, Microsoft has its own PDF maker? Yes, they do, but these are not Adobe Acrobat. And you know what? We have noticed people send us PDFs and we can't open them.
Yeah.
And it says file extension,
and by
PDF.
The way, Michael,
it took us some time to figure out these PDFs were created by the Apple product or by Microsoft PDF Maker. So, folks, additional, if you are doing PDFs, use one PDF Maker, the original, the one and the only, the legendary Adobe Acrobat.
And if you're not following Writer's Sanctuary, he does do some, you do instructional, right, of different things related to the computer and writing. Did I just simplify
does he write
much?
Recipes for pizza?
Okay.
Wait, I'm kind of focused on pizza.
So yes, no, we are gonna get to you, and Mega, we're gonna get to you too. We have questions. I know some of you have left. I hope that it's not you who's left, that we're gonna get to your questions. So next is.
Do you want me to answer this question from Mega?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I cannot answer your question directly, which will you get approved?
Yes.
Okay, because we don't know the specific circumstances of why you don't have a 2019 tax return, which, by the way, you should probably put an affidavit into the file to explain to the SBA loan officer why you have not filed a 2019 tax return, which could be due to you waiting for 1099s to come from a vendor or a customer or any number of issues. Your CPA died. I mean, we have 2 clients, actually, whose accountant died. One due to COVID. So, whatever that is, you should explain that. So I can't answer your specific question, will you be approved? But I will tell you this, you're going to have some challenges.
Yeah.
This is going to be a baseball game that's going to extra innings. And I'm talking about Yankees, Red Sox, 23 inning kind of game. So just as long as you are prepared for your process to go into extra innings, Mega, but if you have no valid reason why your 19 return hasn't been done, your 2020, I think you have a little time to do that yet, but the 19, get it done and get it into the system. Okay. Next question.
I actually did a community on our community tab. If you go to our page, I did do a poll. I don't know if this is how you found us, Mega. But that's what I did, because I'm curious, like this is one of the things that causes delays that I don't think people understand, because I don't know how many times we've answered questions on the 2019 tax, and just when the questions about 2019 tax returns kind of tapered off, then the SBA started asking for 2018. I wish I had sound effects. All right, so moving on to yes, no. What does in progress mean? Do you want to answer that?
No, I'll let you answer it.
Oh, well, you usually have a way smarter answer.
I'm not going to even go there.
It means that it's things are happening. So that's good. I feel like I should have my cards like a crystal ball reader. Like, I see.
Can we get one of those magic 8-ball things?
I'm
going on Amazon
that
right after the show.
There is some good news coming to you.
It is very likely to be so.
Yes. Yes. So that's good news. So yes, no, it's a yes. As in,
what does in progress mean? It means the file is in progress.
Yes.
Period.
Yes. And you are welcome, Mega.
You're quite welcome, Mega.
Let's go back up.
Wishing you good luck, Mega. But please keep in mind, Mega, bring some extra patience to the process. We're always preaching that. If we attach a void check that has an old address on it for reconsideration, then what is on the tax return?
This is a really interesting question, because
no, it is not problematic.
All right. Do you want to, all right. I think I know why this is coming up. I think this is,
it may be problematic for your bank when the U.S. Treasury attempts to deposit money into your bank, because the U.S. Treasury is going to be getting an address from the SBA, and the address they get from the SBA, guess what, is your business address. So, we don't really know. I'm no expert on U.S. Treasury, ACH, wire transfer type of stuff. We see those questions out on the internet all the time about, and we hear from people all the time about business owners, sole proprietors, and their banks are returning the money. We don't really comment on that stuff because it's way, way out of our area of expertise. But I will tell you that I just...
Well, I want to know. I think this is.
I don't think anybody at the SBA is looking at the address on the check. They're looking at the routing number and accounting number.
Okay. Just to answer why Tam, which looks familiar, I think we know you. But anyway, we were doing the SBA grant. I don't even know what's the status. There was, who sent me 186,000 apps were submitted for the grant.
One of our clients did. I spent the better part of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, working on restaurant grant submissions, collecting documents. SBA sprung it on the world last minute, changed the whole launch process. And then when we got into the application, they have a little screen that says it's going to be 20 minutes. Says it's going to be
never disappoint.
20-minute application. And then they were asking for documents that they never told us about. It was, but still a much better experience than the PPP or the EIDL application. So to answer your question, if you were a client so we don't know if we can charge a fee on the restaurant grant. So when that situation, we kind of defer to if we're not sure, when we don't. So we know that we cannot charge a fee for PPP. It's illegal to do that. So we assume it may be the same concept, which means that if you say, hey, can you do my restaurant grant, the application, we will say no, because we cannot charge you for that, and we don't do work for free. But if you sign up as an EIDL client for us to assist you with the EIDL process, for that you can pay us a fee, legal and legitimate. And I need to talk about that fee very quickly, but you can pay us that, and then as a courtesy, we would put that in. Now, here's the thing about the fee. I need to really, and you need to make this a meme. The maximum fee the SBA allows a consultant/broker to charge to assist with the EIDL process of preparing and submitting an application is $2,500. Maximum fee. Flat fee, it cannot be contingent upon a result. That means it doesn't matter whether you get the loan or not, you still must pay the consultant. And you cannot pay the consultant out of the proceeds of the loan. I say this because 3 different times today, on free consultation calls, I've had people tell me that there are scammers out there offering and doing it for percentages of the loan amount they get. And they're saying words like guaranteed to get them on. Of course, they're saying that. You know why? Because they're committing fraud.
Yeah.
Because if your business is qualified for, you've got $84,000 of revenue, which, by the way, this is a real case. We have a client in Reconsideration, $84,000 of revenue, and is qualified for what? I mean, if it's 2 years, let's say that's $168,000, 2 years, right? EIDL. Okay. Except when I got a hold of the client's original EIDL application, it had gross revenue of $1.4 million. The client didn't fill out this application. Somebody else did.
Yeah.
And they were hoping the client would get a lot more and they could make a bigger commission. It's a felony.
If it's too good to be true, it's not true. If it seems just outrageously unbelievable that your odds are so incredible beyond anything you're hearing in the news,
consultant
it's not
can guarantee
happening.
a result.
It's just not happening.
All right, so we've done our public service announcement.
Okay. So there's a question.
Although it could be said this entire video is a public service announcement, except the part where nobody's delivering pizza to my house.
All right. So this is one of those.
Can't answer this question.
Yeah, this is one of those questions, Enan, that we understand why people ask this, because they're waiting and they're desperate and they're like just tired and exhausted and they've done everything and they're waiting. Unfortunately, there's just no way to predict. The SBA in the last 30 days, not to mention this week, it has been a complete bleep show. Okay. So it's very difficult.
The kind of broad stroke answer, Amen, to your question is that whether it's an EIDL reconsideration, an EIDL application, a targeted advance request, the results for business owners are all over the map.
Okay. All right.
What about an amended return? I had to amend my 2019 amended return. I'm sorry, I can't really answer this question. I'm too busy looking at Angela's photograph. Wow.
Oh, you know what? Just
wow.
Will you
I'm sorry.
back it off?
In the absence of pizza, I'm going to stare at a gorgeous woman. I'm just saying. Wow.
All right.
I can't do a whole lot with
Angela,
it though, because Angela is actually my little sister's
I'm going to
name,
keep it up. I'm going to keep your banner up, even though he's a little out of control right now. Okay.
Okay. So, what about an amended return? I had to amend my beautiful, gorgeous, sexy 2019 amended return in beautiful brunette, beautiful brown eyes, December 2020, and that had my gorgeous body 2020. I'm just.
Will you just please? I can't even. How am I going to take a clip of this?
You took the banner away.
No, because this is the second part of the. This is the actual question.
Well, I didn't read the whole question. Actually, I was too busy focusing on the photograph.
All right.
What about amended return? Amended my return December 28, and then had my 2020 done. Okay, so Angela, specific answer to your question is going to be vague, specifically because. You see what I did there, by the way?
I think
specific answer is going to be vague. Specifically,
I think I need to be on that side next time. My profile is like a little. I don't like it. Either that, or I need to lose weight, or have a higher. Can I get?
Are you trying to divert my attention from Angela's question and photograph?
Well, now I'm completely self-conscious. Can I just go like this? I'm going to just do the rest of the show like this.
Okay, so Angela, on this amended return, we have a situation with one of our clients with that right now. You know, IRS has massive delays on returning transcripts. So what I would do, and what I'm doing for our client, is putting the amended return in the file with an affidavit, raising a big flag to the SBA. Hey, SBA, hey, oh, look, it's an amended return. You kind of got to call their attention to that so that you use that. Now, if it's a 1040, and if you can download the transcript, I would definitely do that and send it in as a. Why are you apologizing?
Okay, I'm sorry I put that up. Don't get distracted. Keep going.
I download the transcript, but again, like the question earlier about the person who didn't file the 2019, I would imagine it's going to.
This is not vodka.
This is not vodka. I don't even drink vodka. I drink whiskey.
Okay.
I would say to you, Angela, manage your expectations. This may lengthen your process of your EIDL, but certainly I would try to call it to the attention. And when I say call it, I do not mean actually call one ringy dingy, two ringy dingy to SBA and say, hi, customer service. Can you make a note in my file? Not going to happen. No. Send in a formal affidavit.
Sign
it and date it and bring it to their attention. Hey, SBA, amended return,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I was going to say something really important and now I've forgotten it. Okay. So moving on. We have a question here. Yes, no, yes. Yes, the waiting is driving me
Okay.
crazy.
Can I talk about that?
Oh.
I want to talk about how the waiting's driving me crazy. So, we have our original group.
DJ, we'll get back to you.
The original group, or what a lot of very young people are calling these days, cadre.
Oh.
The cadre.
Okay.
Which is an old communist term, but okay, I'm an old guy. All right. So we have our original group of clients from spring of 2020, 40 small businesses that we assisted from March of 2020 through June of 2022 get EIDL and PPP and some state and local grants. You're welcome, Angela. And thank you, Angela.
So you're so not.
Hey, in the absence of pizza. Okay. So the original group. Anyway, the other day I was one of those clients is a restaurant, and so we were putting in the restaurant grant, and I happened to be going through my notebook, looking at his file, and I realized, and his emails, and I realized I've got a whole slew of emails from this client last spring asking exactly the same question: how long? And I've got multiple emails from him saying, so do you think I'm going to get approved? Or when do you think they're going to approve me? Or when's it going to happen? When am I getting the money? Am I going to get declined? All of this, text messages, This is an ongoing anxiety that everybody has about the process. The money's not going to run out, unlike the PPP. You're going to get approved. And again, we encourage you, especially with Zoe here. Zoe's my kitten connector. And that is, in a moment of Zen, you create for yourself by saying to yourself, I will not check for that blue button. I will not call the SBA to ask the status because I just checked 7 minutes ago. I will not log into my portal. No. Instead, you will go to YouTube and watch kitten videos.
Okay.
Question: how long did the loan mods stay in the funding queue? Cannot answer that, DJ. We do not work for the SBA. We don't. When I say next week, we're going to talk about the behind the scenes working with the SBA. I will not go to that granular level, but we will give you a sense next week and next week's show of the answer to that question. So stay tuned next week, DJ.
And Rev says,
I don't know if this info helps anyone, but I attended an SBA Reconsideration process Zoom session today. If anyone's ever been in limbo state for a long time, next banner.
I don't, next banner is,
Meow.
I don't know where the next banner is. Rev, did I miss your next banner? Or maybe she's still typing it. Okay. Oh, here, wait. Then they should reach out to their local SBA district office and they can get to you.
Yeah, Rev, love it. It's total horse crap.
This is another poll that I did just on our community tab moments before this show.
You ain't getting anywhere with that.
Asking
all that does, when the SBA makes statements like that, you know what that does? That just makes people nuts.
Yeah.
That ain't kitten videos. That's the SBA's way of you ramping up your anxiety. And you know what, SBA, shame on you that they said that. Can you imagine with the hundreds of thousands of applications if everybody was calling the SBA district office? Come on, stop. Do you see how logically that makes no sense?
They're grasping at straws.
So here in Connecticut, for argument's sake, the New England Regional Office, which covers Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. Can you imagine if everybody started calling the SBA regional office to say, hey, the SBA Zoom webinar said I should call you, and in 3 to 5 days from now, you'll have my application status.
All right.
Never going to happen.
Rohan. So on my 2018 tax address was different as compared to 2019 on my 4506.
Wait. The address you're going to use, Rohan, on the 4506 is the address on your 2019.
Yeah.
If you read the instructions on how to complete a 4506, which, by the way, comes with the 4506, and you know what? Forget about the instructions. If you look on the line for address, it says the following: current address, if different from the address on tax return. And then the line below that says previous address, because if you have moved, right? So,
okay, next question. I was denied my increase, been 8 days, no email, but others have found out why. But can they still?
that's all right. Les, listen, we have clients and free consultation calls. People call us all the time. They're like, I was declined. I applied in June of 2020, and I never heard from the SBA, and then 4 months later, I got an email with a PDF declination letter. I didn't even know I was declined. It's just part of the system being overwhelmed, Les.
All right. How long, Jacqueline? How long will it take to get an invitation to apply for supplemental? Oh gosh, supplemental. Listen, I haven't even ventured down that rabbit hole. They introduced a supplemental when they haven't even gotten the targeted advance figured out. Like what? No. Where's my sound effects? I mean, I can't even stand it.
We would love to answer that question, Jacqueline, but we don't know.
Yeah, it's just.
Where's my money? BH Studio.
All right, so
that's kind of a cool photo too, BH. Kind of like cool with all the film.
They sent you a video of the whole session. I bet they did. They want to keep you like not paying attention to what's going on behind the curtain, wizard. All right. Well, I think we are fresh out of questions.
Listen, I want to address Rev's because we love Rev. She wrote a beautiful review on our Google page. I spoke to her on the phone yesterday. She's great people. I want to address this Zoom conference thing. So I, like you, Rev, have attended my fair share of SBA webinars. Most recently, a week ago today, Wednesday morning, and the week before that, with regards to the Restaurant Relief Fund application.
Yes.
I'm just going to tell you
that
statements that were made by SBA representatives in that webinar, some of those statements did not match to what my professional application brain encountered on Monday when I filled out the actual application. And we'll leave it at that.
Not to mention there should be some public speaking training. All right. So
I think I need to trim this beard.
Okay. Now this is just a comment.
Zoe, what do you think? I should trim the beard?
Stop playing with the beard. Oh my God. Okay.
This makes me look like an alien from outer space.
You sometimes are. And we lost viewers because of this. So quit it.
The beard has that effect on people.
Yeah. So this is more of a comment about business owners failing to thoroughly explain and document because
you wrote that banner?
No, I copied and pasted this.
I wrote that?
Yes. Well, I mean, I edited it, but no, but there are some a cadre, to use your word from earlier, of people that just think, these SBA agents are waiting to figure out your loan. And that's just not the case. We know that the viewers that are here tonight, that's not you, because you wouldn't be here.
Better not be you.
Well, if it was you, it's not you now, because you're here and you're learning stuff.
If it is you, watch all our videos, and that will soon not be you.
Well, whoever just left us, I guess that they didn't like that.
That was you.
All right. So yes, Ben, keep he's talking about the beard.
Thanks, Ben.
Hello, thank you, Rohan. Thank you so much. Love from Ohio. I grew up visiting Lakewood and Cleveland. My grandparents lived there.
Do you all want to know the story about how the beard has originated on this face?
Nice to see you, Phil.
Hi, Phil. Let me share the story about how this beard originated on the face. So our romance started in 2015, and we one Sunday morning were sitting on the couch watching a replay of the Saturday Night Live Christmas show with Bruce Springsteen.
Oh.
And we're sitting there having our morning coffee watching it. Springsteen was great. He was playing a great tune. But this one sitting next to me.
Oh.
So Springsteen's on stage and he's singing,
hot.
He's playing, and he had a little bit of scruff on his face.
He was
a little
hot.
And she goes, "It's hot."
It was hot.
I
was never really.
I haven't shaved.
Fan.
I haven't shaved since that. You're stepping on my punchline.
Oh.
I haven't shaved since that day. There you go. Is
that
beard.
true?
Haven't shaved since that day.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Hey, Carol. So glad you're here, especially since you actually don't even need to be here. I'm so happy that you stopped by. It's so nice. So nice. Okay.
What else we got? We have more questions? All right, lightning round. Here we go. Q&A, lightning round.
Yes, lightning round.
Zoe wants to know what the winning
Melissa.
lottery numbers are. I don't know, Zoe. I don't even play the lottery. Melissa Hidalgo, ¿cómo le va?
Yes, Carol, we've been talking about pizza all night. Well,
I've been talking about pizza, but not getting any.
Well, so we really don't have any questions. So that could be where we have an early night tonight.
We want to apologize for last week's show. Apparently here in Roxbury, Connecticut, there was some kind of bleh, and our internet went down briefly and we lost the whole show near the end of the show.
Oh,
so
yes.
So next week, please tune in because we're going to tell you what's going on behind the scenes at the SBA to enlighten you as to helping you manage your expectations.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amin.
Well,
I think it's Amin.
Oh.
Amin Ozdemir.
Okay.
You know, with a name like Trevor Curran, I'm
you're better at
proponent of actually, pronouncing people's names.
Well,
correctly.
we just want to thank everybody. We like to come on and see everyone and say hello and see if we can provide any kind of comfort or peace of mind during these times with
and
this
please keep in
chaos.
mind you can visit auroraconsulting.biz for our free downloads, and you can also book a free 15-minute consultation with us where I will always strive to give free expert advice, although often folks wind up the phone call by just saying, can I just hire you to do this? I'm exhausted. I can't do this anymore. And we do this 7 days a week, multiple 10 hours a day, like 18, 16, 17 hours a day. This is all we do. And EIDLs, and that's all we do. And we charge a flat fee for that, which is very reasonable. And we are results driven. So please reach out to us. Both of my apps for my businesses just say processing. Haven't received any calls, emails, nothing. Anyone know a timeline? Well, it's possible. Going backward on your question, a gullible girl. Will this take months? That is entirely possible. Do we know a timeline? No, we do not. People ask me that all the time when they hire us, and they want to know. And I'm just going to be very honest. The timelines we've seen, and we're working on well over 140 files. The timelines vary dramatically from one file to a next.
True, and I will say this: where we just did a video on this. I posted it on Monday, I think. No, or last Friday. It's the thumbnail says, "Don't ask these questions" or something like that. One of the things with when you're just waiting and it's not changing the status isn't changing. If you are going to call to ask specific questions, such as, is there any? Did you get this document? Like just
those are open questions. You have to ask closed questions.
You have to ask like, is there anything else that you are requiring that I have not yet submitted? And
no, that's an open-ended question.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. You're right.
Close-end question goes
Did you receive my 4506?
Boom.
Did you receive my tax return?
Did you receive my 4506? Great. Has that been submitted to the IRS? Yes. Great. Have you received the tax transcript back? No. Thank you. Hang up the phone. Call back a week later. You see, manage expectations.
Yeah.
As a loan officer, I would go in the office in the morning and check on my files that I was helping people buy houses. And a close-end question to my loan processor is, did we get the appraisal back yet on the Jones file? You see, close-end question.
Yes.
As opposed to, when will we get the appraisal on the Jones file?
Yes.
Open-ended question.
Open-ended. Don't do that.
Leading you to a sad result.
The thing is, too,
there is something called CT.
You can
pizza.
You can just call, for your own peace of mind. You can call and ask these closed-ended questions to just make sure that there isn't anything outstanding. I think that's just the main thing we're trying to say, instead of waiting, wondering, and then maybe there is something that they. And even if you already sent it, they could say they don't have it, and you would have to submit it again. Yes, there is a such thing as Connecticut pizza, and evidently New Haven has the best Connecticut pizza.
Apparently, we haven't been there yet, but apparently New Haven, Connecticut is kind of renowned for pizza along the lines of New York pizza. So
you are so welcome. I'm so glad.
Quite welcome. And again, A Gullible Girl, visit auroraconsulting.biz. We have some downloads for you there, or you can schedule a free 15-minute phone consultation. RC with a cool graphic.
Yeah, it's a dragon on fire.
How long it takes the SBA to confirm? So these results are massively delayed, Kate, RC, because the IRS has massive delays on returning these transcripts. That having been said,
and there's more.
So when a client hires us to be their EIDL consultant, we run a credit report as a standard part of our process, because I hate surprises, and
there's
I don't. So, but we run a credit report so that if there's challenges, I don't like the phrase bad credit, but if there's challenges in the credit report, I can get ahead of that. I can ask the client what happened here with this late payment or this collection account, and we can write a credit explanation, or what the SBA calls a credit narrative, and put it in the file right from the get-go. That having been said, the agency that we use is the same type of credit agency we used in the mortgage industry, which means we get real credit reports. But also that company offers us, if we needed it, and we don't, the ability to request tax transcripts. So what's interesting about the SBA has told everybody in various different forms, oh, there's massive delays with the IRS in getting tax transcripts back. Except I literally just logged in an hour and a half ago and ran a credit report, and the opening screen from our credit service, which also can do transcripts, opens with, we are currently receiving tax transcripts requested on April 23rd. Which is only a week and a half ago. You see? So if, in other words, if you're working in a mortgage company, getting a mortgage, and they request the tax transcripts, which is a standard part of the process, that credit agency is telling us how long that transcript return will be. So that's why I don't understand what system the SBA is using. But we've seen results all over the place in terms of the transcripts returning.
Okay.
By the way, that question, RC, and thanks for asking it, is a great example of an open-ended question. You ask that question of an SBA agent, see how long it takes. That's a recipe for you having an anxiety-ridden day when you do not get a proper answer, or worse, the SBA agent makes up an answer because she doesn't really know how to get you off the phone. And that happens frequently also. Well, you're welcome, RC.
And then the other thing too is when I'm going to propose a question sort of that was a comment on one of our videos.
Oh. Is this the good one or the bad one?
I don't know, because I might have just lost my train of thought, which does happen when you're almost 55 years old.
This is the one that was on Reddit.
Oh, I know. Okay, I got it back. Don't interrupt me, because this is a fleeting thing. Okay. The guy responded very, very nicely with an experience he was having with his loan officer and what his loan officer said, and giving what that loan officer said. And I think when you ask a loan officer an open-ended question and maybe you get an answer, that could perpetuate all of the craziness that goes on in groups when they're going back and forth with info they heard, and what info you heard, and what the SBA said, and what this loan officer said. And this is the reality of it, because your loan is one loan you're working on, and that is the most important loan. We have dozens and dozens of loans every day that we work on.
And we're not the SBA.
And we talk to dozens and dozens and dozens of people that have loans and certain issues. And Trevor will call a loan officer. He'll know how to kind of qualify to see if the loan officer is a
agent.
moron.
I don't really get to speak to loan officers.
The agent,
the SBA customer service agent.
He'll know how to ask qualifying questions to just determine, like, all right, this could go badly with this person. Why don't you explain the three types of?
Just hang up.
I hang up, right? And you hang up and call back, like, right away, because one loan officer does not mean that is the way it is. I mean, I'm sorry. The comment had where he said LO, loan officer, agent, processor, officer. I don't know, but it's, just one person at the SBA saying one thing does not mean that it is the thing that is happening, because there are different reps officers, whatever, doing different things contrary to what others are doing there at the SBA. True story.
True story.
True story. So why don't you get into?
But also, generally speaking, in the finance business, with regards to customer interface, thank you, Jacqueline. With regards to customer interface, I mean, I saw this throughout my career in the mortgage business. I would be in the office and I would hear another loan officer. So the question could have been something like, thanks, Jacqueline. The question, I can hear the loan officers on the phone at her desk, his desk, and they're on the loan officer at the bank I was working at is on the phone with one of their applicants, and the question obviously is about the appraisal, right? Well, we're waiting for the appraisal to come back, which is a close-end question, right? What's the status of my file? Well, your status of file right now is we're waiting for your appraisal to come back on your house that you're buying. Okay, obviously, like you folks, the person buying the house is anxious and is pushing the loan officer, and the loan officer does not know how to have good customer service interface, which is my way of saying not being a blunt Scottish guy like me who just tells people the truth.
Mhm.
Instead, I can hear the loan officer at the other side of the office, the other cubicle, saying, who knows what they're saying? Well, it all depends on if the Yankees win tonight. And then there's 3 subway stops to go for hot dogs. And then after that, depending upon if Carnegie Hall is open or closed, it could be a taxi ride downtown to Wall Street and then across the ferry to Staten Island. And then we'll know if the appraisal comes back. Do you see how nonsensical that all sounds? Because that's what it sounds like, as opposed to if that same was my client saying, well, Trevor, when will the appraisal come back? And you know what my answer was going to be? The appraisal will come back when it comes back.
Yeah. So anyway, you have to take what they say as a grain of salt, and if you don't like the answer, definitely hang up and call back for sure.
But you have to manage your own expectation. We cannot stress this enough.
Yes. Do you want to talk about the 3 types of reps that people get?
We'll do that next week.
Oh, that's next week? Oh, that's right. That's next week. Okay. One question, RC, which I put up early. I hope you're still with us. I called the SBA. The customer service was nice. Nice is nice.
Well, that's kind of a good question and a fair statement. When the customer service person says there's no loan officer checking the file yet, that could be. I don't know how old your file is in the process, whether it's a new application, a reconsideration, an increase request. We're going to talk about this, RC, and you've asked a couple of good questions tonight that are going to refer to our show next week. So we'll be able to answer this in more detail next week. But essentially, there's a system at the SBA, as there is a system at any bank, anywhere that's processing
may not always make sense
applications. It does not make sense to the average person outside in the world who's worried about their one application.
Yeah.
And we'll leave it at that, and come and visit us next week for WTF Wednesday.
Okay. Are reps legally bound to not reveal the loan officer names if they see one? Because I've been told by a couple of them that they can't. I don't know.
I've never heard that. I've never asked that question. I don't know.
Oh, thank you, BG. I feel like singing the Bee Gees. What's your favorite Bee Gees song?
Let me answer Rev's question like that. That was Rev who answered the question, right? Okay. Are reps legally bound? I don't know if they're legally bound, but here's the thing. In a customer service setting, okay. So, for instance, our little firm, we have a woman who works with us who is our document control manager. So when our clients submit files to their online cloud portal, she grabs the documents, organizes them, labels them, and puts them into our secure cloud folder so then I can underwrite the client's file. And there are days when, for instance, Monday, when I worked on the restaurant relief grants, or if I'm doing some serious application work and I don't want to be disturbed, where I will take our office phone line and call forward so that she can answer the phone. And I give her instructions on what to tell customers or prospective clients who are calling the office line when she answers the phone, which are designed, those statements are designed to protect me from having to speak to anybody during that time period because I have to focus on a task. And so therefore, you may call Aurora Consulting's phone number and be told, Trevor is unavailable for the next 2 or 3 hours or whatever because he's working on this. She may not even tell you what I'm working on, and she'll take a message. So my conclusion, and again, Rev, that's a great question because it goes to what we're going to talk about next week's show about processes in finance companies, banks, and the SBA, and what is really going on behind the scenes is, as opposed to a customer service rep being legally bound to not give you a loan officer name, they are, I don't know about that legal part, but they are probably instructed that the loan officers are out of bounds, verboten, to speak to applicants. Because if the applicants were able to speak to loan officers, the loan officers wouldn't get anything done.
Yeah. So is that your point?
That was a long one.
Because
But listen, if you feed me pizza, you get shorter answers, folks. Okay.
I mean,
My wife just got funded for the remaining advance, but now the loan increase disappeared. Well, number one, congratulations to you, wife, for the remaining advance, and hang in there because there are still major technical problems today here in Connecticut. We couldn't even get in all day. I started at 8:04 a.m. and as recently as an hour ago, could not get through at all. I get a message. The number you have reached is unavailable after being on the SBA, hitting the codes and everything. So hang in there, PG. The increase is coming. It is happening. It will be approved. You know how we know this? Because last year, when all of our clients, our 40 clients, were losing their minds. Oh my God. Now, mind you, back then, I didn't know anything about the SBA process. It was all brand new to us. I'd never even heard of EIDL until March 18th, 19th last year. Okay. And so we put those files in, and as I was sharing earlier, I just found a bunch of emails from one of our clients, and he's not the only one. And they were all calling, texting, emailing. How long is this going to take? When am I getting that? How did I know? I mean, I know a little better now, which is I can say timelines vary. I've got 13 months of experience, but I still can't answer the question, how long does this take? Yeah. Because hang in there. It will happen. Yes. You will get approved. All right. Complicated. Oh, that's us. All right.
Patience is key. Hey, Brendan and Ella. Fun adventures. Putting the fun in dysfunction. Yes. No, that's us doing that, but we're glad you're here.
Do you know Brendan and Ella?
Yes. They're huge supporters of our channel and
Thank you, Brendan and Ella.
And they actually keep us posted with their progress and
Brendan and Ella, can you visit our page and write a Google review for us? That'd be cool.
Oh, yes.
Because these free videos we do, that you can watch on YouTube that teaches you and about visit our playlist because we've put all our videos together, 2, 3, 4-minute videos to show each of you step by step the different aspects of the reconsideration process. And what makes that possible, I'm talking like a public television station now, viewers like you make this possible, which means that if you go to Google and write a review, that then leads paying customers to us. And when people pay us, we then can give away free stuff like this video we're doing tonight and our videos on the YouTube channel and our free 15-minute consultations.
I do put the link to our Google. It should be in the video description. I'm going to put it in the comments now because it really does. I mean, one of the things that brought us to be able to learn all this stuff, to share all of this stuff is because some of our clients found us on Google. And so we do appreciate when people leave comments.
To this day, we don't know how we suddenly appeared on Google last August. And suddenly we did, and people were calling us from all around the country.
I just put the link in, Brendan.
So thank you all for watching us. We do truly appreciate you. Hi, Luis.
Hello.
And thank you for tuning in. Next week, we're going to teach you what's going on behind the scenes at SBA.
My local bar. I really when we're not self-quarantining, he got a shot. I didn't get my shot yet.
I got my shot last week.
We're gonna have to come visit you, Jacqueline. So okay, we do not have any questions. We have quite a few people still with us, and to that, I just want to say thank you so very much. For helping us build our channel. I never thought it was possible. I mean, we're not at like 60,000 subscribers, but that doesn't matter to us. What matters to us is the people that do come and visit us and hang out with us and appreciate the value that we try to deliver when we can. We do really appreciate that. So thank you for being a part of our YouTube journey. Someone posted a comment and actually called us YouTubers, and I was like, oh my gosh, we might just be YouTubers.
I prefer to be the loan officer who gets people EIDL money. One last thing I
Thank you,
want to
BG.
say. Thank you. One last thing I want to say to all of you folks. So with the way we work here at the house is I'm in the office working on client files and or free consultations, but mostly working on client files. Linda perches herself on my gorgeous Italian leather couch, which is the comfiest couch. I dare you to come to our house for dinner and sit on that couch and not fall asleep. That's how comfortable it is. In any event, Linda parks herself there with her MacBook and works on these things all day long.
Howard.
And
so I want to go
she
back.
will often share when I come out to refill my coffee cup in the kitchen. We have an open floor plan now, so I come out to refill kitchen to the kitchen and refill my coffee. Linda will often share with me comments or questions that are posted on YouTube and Twitter and elsewhere. Just 2 days ago, 2 people within the space of a half hour, 45 minutes, posted on our YouTube comments the phrase, I watched all the videos and I did what you said in the videos.
Oh, yes.
And it actually works.
Yes, I actually take those. I actually take those like nice good news things and I make them into like our Instagram stories.
Actually works. Our advice actually works. And
Hey, John Taylor.
Do you know why our advice actually works? Because we actually do this stuff every day. Someone asked us a question yesterday about getting approved for the EIDL loan, but how long does that person have to decide whether they want to take the money or not? And we actually were able to answer the question. And we did that. And then the person responded like, oh my God, thank you. Because I've asked other YouTubers this question and you're literally the only people that took the time to research it and tell me the answer. As if we spent hours and hours researching it. It took 14 seconds to find the answer. Do you know why it took 14 seconds? Because we actually process EIDL applications and EIDL reconsiderations. And we had a client back in December that I filed his EIDL application. He got approved. He was so busy and he kept getting emails which come to my email box saying, your loan's been approved, sign your closing documents within the next 30 days. Okay. 14 seconds, we were able to answer the question.
Howard, I cannot distill down what we had our exchange about. You're either gonna have to put the question in this comments so I can have Trevor come in. I did not brief him because I didn't have time to confer with him. But Brendan and Ella, you had a question. I'm not sure if it was even a question about the hazard insurance. If this is a question,
we're not going to talk about insurance.
We're not going to talk about it. There's a whole video on it.
You will see the top of Linda's skull burst out and brain matter.
There is a whole video on the hazard insurance.
She's a licensed insurance broker, and we have been arguing amongst ourselves about this insurance thing for weeks. We are going to revisit this conversation for you in the near future.
But I will tell you, the video we did was 7 minutes long, which for our videos, besides our lives, that's a pretty long video.
That's a War and Peace novel type of video.
It has every aspect of the concerns we have about the hazard insurance. But the short answer is take the money now. As far as I'm concerned. So someone had a question that I might be missing.
Jacqueline is offering to cook and make homemade. Can we go now?
So Louis, am I pronouncing that right? Is it true they will have a fund now button on the portal?
This is one of those, Louis Tubasi. This is what I call a Sasquatch question.
Okay. This is new to me. I am with all of you.
Do we know what Sasquatch is?
Yes, he's a mythical monster.
The keyword being?
Mythical.
Bingo.
Okay.
This is one of those internet myths that are floating around on Reddit and Facebook.
Don't get them started.
Generally speaking, it's all horse crap.
I'm coming back to
you know why it's horse crap? Because nobody really knows.
Nobody knows. And now nobody, and let me tell you this, let me just say this too. And again, regular business owner, person, loan officer, this is our kind of our dynamic stitch. What's the word, guys? Whatever. I don't even know what the word is.
I'm still thinking about pizza. Now Jacqueline's got pizza in my head.
But this is the thing, even if a Fund Me Now or whatever you want to call it button shows up, it doesn't mean it's going to work. It just means it's there because they're trying to look away, shiny, bright, blingy thing until they can figure out how to make anything work. I mean, literally everything they've introduced as a function has malfunctioned. So even if this button shows up, it doesn't matter.
By example,
what about the blue button?
By example, on Monday, when I did a slew of restaurant relief grant fund applications for our restaurant clients, we were told in the webinars by the SBA persons, the administrators of the program, there will be identity verification questions at the end. So the authorized person who is signing the application, entering the application on the SBA website for the restaurant relief application, must be able to answer these. And I have done these ID questions
Michael, I'm coming back to you
with clients, and they can be kind of complicated. So I made sure all our restaurant clients were available for me to get them on the phone.
Okay, let's
out of, I don't know how many, more than a dozen, 18 applications I did.
I think.
Do you know how many applications actually asked for the identity verification? Go ahead, ask me.
I don't know how many.
2.
Okay.
2.
Can we just?
Two.
This is the
There's your
third
blue
time
button,
I'm putting
Sasquatch.
Rita up.
Okay, I'm starting to lose my brains here.
Stop. Received the denial. A lot of people received this denial letter.
Over 400,000 people received it.
So it's
file a reconsideration for it. We don't know what the process is.
We don't know what the process is. We don't know the time length. We don't know the anything. We don't know anything about the delays or how long to get funded or when will it overturn.
There's a lot that we don't know.
There's a lot we don't know about this. This is a big problem that went down that I personally feel like eventually it will get resolved. But
of course it will.
It's a system
Congress
thing.
put the money in there. Congress
It's a
gave
system
instructions.
thing.
It's going to happen. The fact that it's not happening according to folks' timeline is disgraceful, especially for the targeted advance for the low-income communities, the neediest and smallest of small business. It is shameful.
I know.
Just like the PPP running out of money today, only a few weeks after the guidelines were changed for Schedule C sole proprietors. Those people are massively screwed.
Yes. Okay, Michael, thank you, first of all, for coming here and hanging out with us, tuning in, helps jiggle that little algorithm, you know what I mean? Okay, so.
By the way, Michael, I love your profile picture. Kind of looks like I should be hanging out with you on that couch. We should be having a couple of whiskeys together. Cheers, man.
Okay.
All right. Hey, first-time viewer, Michael, I was declined for the increase last year in December. Can I still get the... Yes, absolutely. File a new reconsideration. Do it tonight. Go to our playlist, Michael.
Yes.
Watch our videos on how to file. And by the way, one very important thing to share with all you folks. Mm-hmm. These pieces of advice that we give you, like the download that's on our website, auroraconsulting.biz, on how to file an EIDL reconsideration, and our videos, when we tell you the instructions on how to do it,
it's because we've done it.
And please don't modify them.
Oh, yes.
Because you know when you're going to get in trouble?
When you modify.
Bingo.
You can't
follow our instructions exactly as we have laid them out, and you will be successful.
You are a first-time viewer, so you've not seen the library of our videos where some of them I have to try really hard to refrain from sounding like I'm going to slap you upside the head, because don't do that anymore.
She means me.
Stop doing it. Because you're only your worst enemy. You're only setting yourself up for failure, and you're getting in your own way.
BTW, FYI, I'd like to point out to all y'all watching the show tonight, this is the first time in weeks Linda has not called me arrogant.
Yeah. But
because I keep saying I'm a loan officer and I can't teach you how to do what I do. Michael, you're quite welcome, and I look forward to having that whiskey with you sometime in the near future.
If
Cheers.
you go to Advancing with Financing playlist, there are at least 3 videos on reconsideration, and I'm pretty sure reconsideration is in the title, so you can search for those.
And we try to break them down, Michael, very simple, 2 to 3, maybe 4 minutes. One step, how to call the SBA and speak to an SBA agent, how to write a credit explanation letter, how to fill out a 4506.
Did we have John? Did we talk about this? Because we did a whole thing.
John Taylor, I'm having a bromance with you right now, my friend, because I'm with you. Why is the SBA asking for the 2000? Why are they asking for a tax return that is 3 years old?
Yes. Okay, hold on.
The mysteries of the universe.
Because
John.
it's WTF Wednesday. And
WTF. WTF, John.
I mean,
by the way, John, are you Scottish by any chance? Because when I was a kid, my dad, who was Scottish, we used to go to Scottish games every summer in New York, and one of my dad's best friends was a Scottish guy named John Taylor, and John was the best. He was just a fun guy.
BG
okay,
knows.
BG. It's so important to follow directions and submit clean documents, because you're welcome, Michael. We appreciate you too. The reason we tell you to follow our advice exactly is because 2 days ago, we got comments from 2 people who said, I followed their videos and it actually works. Boom. Oh my God, it actually works.
So
Who knew?
Here's another question. I started my LLC in December 2019, didn't have any income till January, February, then March. They made me close for 4. Okay. And I didn't have 30% loss.
All right. Millions. Okay, that's not how I'm reading it, but okay.
Okay.
Yeah, fight that. That. But listen, do a better job of presenting this information. You have to behave a little bit like an attorney in a criminal homicide case, that your client's going to get the death penalty. You got to show up with the evidence and the testimony and be prepared. So if the SBA tells you you didn't have the 30%, even if you think you presented it correctly, do your work, put together a high quality, easy to read PDF showing your numbers. Break it down by month, January of 2019 through March, now actually through April of 2021, showing your monthly gross receipts. I'm assuming, Millions, that this is for the targeted advance you're talking about, because that's the only program that requires a 30% reduction. The PPP required a 25% reduction. The targeted advance required a 30% reduction. So I'm assuming that that's what you're asking. And in that case, on the targeted advance application, they want gross monthly receipts, January 2019 through the most recent month of this year, which now is going to be April of 2021. Do your numbers, put it into a high quality, easy to read format, and if possible, highlight it with a big yellow marker. Okay.
All right.
It has to be an 8-week period, you have to demonstrate a 30% reduction over an 8-week period from the year before.
Okay, Howard, so thanks for putting this up. It's the only thing I will say that confused me, but Trevor, I told Howard, we had an exchange. I told him I would have to defer to you, confer and defer. When you say showing 0, I think you mean it's not showing up at all, that they're not finding it. And I know you copy and pasted this because of
all right. So Howard, it appears that SBA is saying that your transcript return came back as a 0. Well, that's because, number one, I'm not throwing you under the bus and I'm not judging you at all. You filled out the 4506T incorrectly. That's why. Because if you know the tax return is there and you can verify that, the only reason, Howard, and please remember, I was a loan officer for 30 years in the mortgage business. I've been filling out 4506Ts and 4506, full 4506s, which has all the information, since 1996. Okay? You filled it out incorrectly. That's the only explanation as to why the SBA cannot get the transcript back from the IRS if you know for sure that the IRS has processed your tax return. You see, we know the returns, the transcript coming back, the requests are coming back 0, unfound. It's actually, the phrase is no record found, and it's coming back because the IRS is delayed. But if you know that the IRS, when you say you have a certified letter, I'm assuming, I've never heard the IRS giving somebody a certified letter, by the way, unless you went to your local IRS office.
No, I think he meant his CPA gave a certified letter.
CPA can use that certified letter as a piece of toilet paper.
Oh.
It has no value at all. No value. No value.
I thought
CPA doesn't work for the IRS.
No, I thought you have worked on where the CPA provided a certified letter that the tax returns were done and that was submitted to SBA. That doesn't matter.
No, in that case, you're talking about the CPA filed the tax returns electronically and showed us the electronic receipt with the electronic digitized destination number, which is the IRS. Whole different thing. A certified letter from your accountant, toilet paper. It's useless to anybody in the financing profession and certainly in the SBA process. What you should do, Howard, is download your transcripts from irs.gov.
That's what I did say that, Howard. I did say to download the transcripts from the irs.gov. So at least I got that part of the
But keep in mind so now I'm starting to change my advice to you, Howard, because it kind of sounds like maybe you don't know for sure your tax return has been processed by the IRS. And that's possible because that's a big problem right now. The IRS is way behind in processing tax returns. So if you send it a 4506, it comes back as no record found. Shane Khan.
Okay.
All right. I love how that sounds. Shane Khan.
Yeah.
Shane Khan has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. And on the red carpet, Shane is, looking spectacular tonight.
Yes, I love this.
Hey, Shane, how does it feel to be an Oscar nominee tonight?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. My SBA account says my tax returns are under review. Good. That's excellent.
Yes.
And in email, SBA said they were working on my case. Excellent. Again, when I asked what is happening, so what happens now? What happens now is you're going to get money. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and hope you win that Oscar tonight.
Mic drop. All right. So, wow, that's good. That's good. I love this for you, Shane Khan. Brendan, we're gonna have to have a little offline thing because I know you're coming up with a lot of comments
Well,
that I
so
think are related
flirt
to insurance.
with Angela's image, and now you're going to have an offline thing with Brendan? This is how this is going to go?
Listen, I'm sure Ella is going to be on the scene, so it will be a supervised offline meeting. We will have a chaperone. All right, so let's see here if I missed
Hold on, I want to
anybody.
see what there's a Brendan and Ella right there.
Also,
if you give them your PPP, if you got friends, and provide them with both.
they will have it only better for them to prove that you're real. I see. I think that was probably along with something else. Trust me when I say when you are human, when you get a human to look at your paperwork, you have the right EIDL loan, they will do.
They will send the paper.
Yeah. Okay, good. So here we go. So I don't have a blue button.
Yeah, Jen, you are not alone.
Yeah. This is the thing about the blue button. I did 2 shorts, which in YouTube world are 1-minute videos. I did 2 shorts on this blue button, this infamous elusive blue button. You don't need the blue button to file for a request for the increase.
We think.
Well,
we don't know.
There originally pre-blue button, there was you sent in an email. Remember those days, which was like literally only 2 weeks ago, where you sent in an email requesting the EIDL increase, and thus ensued where they.
All right, so let's talk about what Linda said. In October and then in January, 2 separate files, I filed reconsideration requests asking for an increase. In the October request, the client was offered a certain amount of money but took less. Clearly, we were not her consultant at that time because we would have advised her to take the full amount, park the money if she didn't want it, and prepay it. But okay, so she came to us, and so we filed a reconsideration for increase. And in the second one, January 7th, I filed the application. In this case, it was clear based on the gross revenue that SBA clearly someone did not do the math. And so we filed a reconsideration request. We were told by SBA, both files received emails. Log into your portal. We went into the portal and boom, you are eligible. And in both cases, the SBA was offering substantially more money. In the case of the October reconsideration, they were offering the amount that had originally been offered. In the case of the other client who requested more money, they offered $20,000 more. So we were all excited. We accepted the eligibility and it went into process. A couple of weeks later, very soon thereafter, declined.
Yeah.
Who knew? We didn't know why. Don't know why. But these 2 declinations, there were no blue buttons. There was no request of modification button, nothing like that on the portal. It was all email reconsideration.
Right.
And both of these files were declined after the offers had been made and accepted just a week or 2 before Isabel Guzman, the new SBA administrator, announced we are going to increase the working capital up to 24 months. So it is my assumption,
Yes,
I have surmised, that the reason our 2 clients' files were declined is because SBA said, wait a minute, we potentially can offer these folks a lot more money, shut that down. And of course, there was no further communication from SBA explaining that.
That's what I'm saying. There's too much chatter going on about things related. People are focusing on things that have nothing to do with their file or their loan. It's easy to get wrapped up into the drama of the negative.
It's really easy, if you live in the northwest part of the United States, to get wrapped up in the myth and legend of Sasquatch, also known as Bigfoot. It's kind of the same thing we consider with the blue button, or there's going to be an automatic. All that Reddit stuff that you read, it's okay. By the way, somebody on Reddit totally trashed us and said they watched one of our videos, and in the thread,
we didn't give the right advice or something.
We didn't give the right advice. Their advice was too vague. Well, because, we do this actual process, these files 7 days a week. And when we don't know, what we're going to tell you?
We don't
We
know.
don't know. As opposed to making stuff. You know what I love is when some other folks that I've been told, by the way, do not throw other YouTubers under the bus. So
yes, please.
Public service announcement. This is not me throwing them under the bus. Yes, it is.
Okay.
There are other YouTubers who say our contact at SBA says,
oh yeah,
really? You have a contact at SBA? Produce that person. Put them on the screen. You know who did that? Max Max Marr. He brought on back in February an SBA administrator,
and it was
and
very
I learned
relevant.
a valuable piece of information from watching that.
Okay,
now, that's what I need.
Stop. Howard, listen, I just want to say this to you, Howard. Every video that we have has a link to a free 15-minute consultation. I suggest you...
I've run out of water. That means the show's over.
I suggest that you just book a 15-minute call because I cannot really tell from all the comments that you're putting on how to decipher and diagnose this whole situation. So, okay. DN2 Art's been in processing for advance for 5... Yeah. That's...
I'm not sure if that means DN2 Art, if you were approved or declined.
If you weren't declined, that's good because a lot of people were declined. Hi, Ike. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Hey, Ike. James Bond. My show's over when I run out of scotch. It's hysterical.
That's awesome.
Well, I want to say thank you all for tuning in tonight.
Yeah, Howard, just book the appointment.
Appreciate all of you and value your contribution to our little YouTube audience. And again, we set out on March 18th of 2020 to become a trusted resource for folks because I already knew from my experience in the mortgage business that there was so much misinformation out there. And I said to Linda, let's do that. Let's find out how this SBA EIDL thing works. We never had any intention of processing the actual loans. And then we can share that with folks. And then I said, when COVID's over, we'll be a trusted resource and we'll have a great reputation for our financing business.
Jamar, go to the playlist on our channel that has shorts, the 60-second videos. And there are 2 videos on the blue button that I talk about. The blue button. We just went over extensively that maybe you can catch it in the replay about the blue button. If you missed it, that you actually can send in a request via email.
My take on that as the loan officer, Jamar, is that we have a new client signed up with us. And from Monday evening to Tuesday morning alone, he received the invitation email you referenced 8 times.
Yeah.
And I logged in with him Monday night to his portal, and there's nothing there. Yeah. Nothing. No blue button. Nothing. There's nothing. It's just funds have been dispersed. That's it. So
no, he did not forget about the pizza. He never forgets about pizza.
That's like saying, did you forget about Linda?
We could go on all night. We really love helping out and answering these questions. These questions are fun for me because I learn a lot too. Okay, stop. I learn a lot too. And also just appreciate you guys hanging out with us. So it's really cool. All right. So every Wednesday, WTF Wednesday, I foresee us continuing with our 7:30 p.m. WTF Wednesdays until the SBA has no issues and is perfectly processing on a timely basis.
I cannot
loans.
Possibly
I
continue
can't
to do
imagine
these at the age of 98.
I can't imagine that we would stop doing our WTF Wednesdays. So thank you. So anyway,
you're welcome, Jamar. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah. Be healthy, everybody. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay
Get
patient.
your shot. I ran
patient.
into the supermarket last week to pick up toilet paper and some staples and attention shoppers. We have some additional extra vaccines if you'd like to get your vaccination.
I
ran over to the pharmacy, got my Johnson.
If you're trying to borrow money, millions, if you're ever trying to borrow money, they're going to check credit. I just did a short video on this. Don't get me started about checking credit.
I'm being very quiet and very calm
do not
in response to that question.
Be concerned about people checking, about the SBA checking your credit. Don't be concerned about an inquiry. Don't be concerned about a hard hit.
Let me put it this way.
Matter.
When I was a mortgage banker and people said, hey, Trevor, my real estate agent, my best friend, my attorney, my accountant told me to call you to get pre-qualified because I want to buy a house. Great. All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to start out by running your credit. Why do you have to run my credit?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did you not call me because you want my bank to lend you money to buy a house? Well, yes, I want to buy a house. Okay, so I have to run your credit. But why?
Yeah.
All right. Click. Bye.
No, if they're running your credit, that's a good thing. Okay. Please stop with the running the credit. They have to run the credit. And if they're going to run just expect it. Okay. And instead of worrying about the credit being run, this is what everyone who's still with us, please.
And this is the topic of tonight's show.
Forget about asking this question anymore. You know what you need to do?
Focus on the things you control.
No, please focus on how we have a whole blog. We just did it. I'm going to put it in the comments as well on how to set business plans and revenue projections, because this is the thing about the credit. They're going to run the credit score. The language in the second stimulus legislation was to move away from the credit score and the ability to repay the loan. So what your job now is not to focus on running the credit or when they run the credit or how often they run the credit, blah, blah, blah. The question is set yourself with knowing how your business is going to prosper and thrive beyond this disaster. We just wrote a blog about it.
She's being a great small business owner, and in our Tubes videos here, we always tell folks, Linda's the small business, I'm the loan officer. All right, I'm going to talk to you like the loan officer that I am.
I'm putting the link to the blog.
You want to know what I want you to do instead of worrying about, are they going to run my credit or where's the blue button? You know what I want you to do? Prepare your documents. And you know what? Not just prepare your documents. Prepare them in a high quality, professional manner, such as we spoke to somebody here just a few minutes ago about the 4506. You know, you want to get your tax returns transcripts coming back from the IRS correctly. You know how you do that? Fill out your 4506 correctly. You know how you fill out a 4506 correctly? Watch some of our videos or other videos. Read the instructions that come with the 4506.
Yes,
which you
they
can
will
find
run it again
on the SBA website. You can find it on the IRS.gov website, how to fill out a 4506T. The instructions are actually really easy to read. Do that instead of worrying about the blue button, worrying about how long the process is going to take, and worrying about running the credit report. You don't control those things. You know what you control? Filling out your 4506T correctly. You control that.
Yes, Angela, they're probably gonna run it again. You're gonna hear people say they ran it, they didn't run it. It doesn't matter. Expect that they're gonna run it. If they run it, that's good news. It means they're actually working on your file. Please, I just put the link to the blog on the questions you should all be focusing on to answer about your business versus when they're gonna run the credit, if they're gonna run the credit, how will they run the credit, blah, 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 blah. Honestly, if I hear another person ask a question about running credit, I don't know what I'm going to do. Stop worrying about it. You're making yourself. Okay.
Take a deep breath. Pretend you've got pizza that you're delivering to me so I can eat pizza.
ASMR.
Pizza.
Hello, ASMR.
Namaste pizza.
Hello. Tap, tap,
Okay,
tap,
let's
tap,
move
tap.
on.
Okay.
Because I'm starting to get persnickety.
All right,
we're
gonna.
You all think I'm funny. I'm not gonna be that funny in about another minute because I've run out of water and I'm kind of worrying about pizza. I'm hungry and I've been on the phone all day and I'm kind of exhausted. So
thank you, everybody, and
thank you all,
and thanks for sticking it out in my rant. Go to the blog, answer all the questions in the blog. You'll be happy you did it, and
live long and prosper.
Yes, it's good to know, Angela.
Oh, Angela's back. Oh, hi.
Stop it. Okay, we're gonna fade out now. Take care, everybody. Be healthy, be strong.
Good night, everybody.
Be
Thanks
safe.
for tuning in. We'll see you next week. We're going to tell you what's going on behind the scenes at the